we were talking about early in this show, who would you want the Lions to take in the NFL draft? And I said it. Will Anderson Jr. at 6, Bijan Robinson at 18, because I don't trust D'Andre Swft. And if you're talking about that Robinson is the next coming of Saquon Barkley, to me, that's something you might not be able to pass up, especially knowing that Jamal Williams could not be on this team. And even if he is, it's going to be a short-term deal. And Jamal Williams could be 30 by the time this thing is over. His contract is over. And D'Andre Swft is on a contract year, which means a year from now, you could essentially have neither one of these guys, okay? So for me, I chose Will Anderson. Y'all know how I love my edge rushers. I think they determine the outcome of a game. We saw what happened against the San Francisco 49ers. So I'm taking Will Anderson. If not, give me Nick Bosa next year. Okay? But he's going to be franchise tag or he's going to have a massive deal, one or the other. So Brad Behrman, the residential go-to guy from Fansided, always talking about his work, says 6 teams who could make Lions an offer they shouldn't refuse for D'Andre Swft. I like that. A little play on The Godfather. Actually, that's my Gigi Khan slogan. My name is the Gigi Khan Don, and I say, make me an offer I can't refuse. It's got The Godfather quote and everything. This is fantastic. Go check it out. The number 6 team that the Detroit Lions could not refuse if they made an offer for D'Andre Swft is the Kansas City Chiefs, which is ironic because they drafted Clyde Edwards before we drafted D'Andre Swft in 2020. And like I said in my video where people don't listen, I said that the running backs drafted before and after have not lived up to their expectations. I didn't say that they weren't a dog. Jonathan Taylor is a dog. Maybe he's the guy we should have taken. But J.K. Dobbins, Taylor, Swift, and Clyde Edwards cannot seem to ever stay on the field. That's what I said. Open up your ears. Number 5, the Cincinnati Bengals could get in there. Mixon, I don't know what's happening with him. And they've got to get ready to pay Burrow very soon. The number 4 team, the Baltimore Ravens. That would be a unique situation to see D'Andre Swft in a Baltimore Ravens uniform, but who would his quarterback be? Who would his quarterback be? Because Lamar is very likely he won't be back to being a Baltimore Raven. Number 3, the Miami Dolphins. Could the Miami Dolphins make an offer to the Detroit Lions that they couldn't refuse? Number 2, and I would hate to see this for D'Andre Swft because I think this franchise has a long way to go. They have not recovered from the Super Bowl when they were up 28-3 and lost. The Atlanta Falcons. And they got Cordero Patterson, Desmond Ridder. I would hate to see him do that because I think his career, I think we talked about it, man. D'Andre Swft is, in my opinion, a year away from being the next Amir Abdullah. And the number 1 team, the Houston Texans. They got Dameon Pierce, who balled out last year with 939 yards. But who is his number 2? And D'Andre Swft could make a legit number 2. I do not think that D'Andre Swft is a number 1 running back. He is great for all purpose, but what he was drafted for by Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn, he is not that. And I think it's time for us to admit that D'Andre Swft is not a number 1. I don't think he's been a number 1 since year 1. That's just my honest opinion. I can't even remember the backup running backs before we signed Jamal Williams in year 2. So remember, the only year that D'Andre did not have Jamal was his rookie year. Jamal signed after that for the 2021 and 2022 NFL seasons. So while I would be sad to see D'Andre Swft go, I think it's part of the business. And if they made the right deal, why not? Why not? It's very likely. My thing is D'Andre Swft is probably not going to be here next year. Probably not going to be here next year. Josh says he definitely better than Amir, but just as injured, unfortunately. And Josh, I agree with you. When I make my Amir Abdullah, I want to call him when I make that comparison, Amir had potential. They got like the same body structure. And Amir is like, he never lived up to that potential, but he stays in the NFL. And to be honest with you, I think potentially Amir could be around longer than Swift. Don't forget, Swift is entering year 4. He's entering year 4. It seems like he's been in the league much longer than that, doesn't it? But he's in year 4. So listen, any of these teams make me a deal, I'd rather get something for nothing. Or something instead of nothing. Listen, it's 2 people that I'm about done with. Number 1, Jeffrey Okudah. I'm done with him. I'm done. There's no discussion. I'm done. He gonna be here probably, but I'm done with him. And D'Andre Swft is on the cusp. I'm because listen, y'all. I understand what we see, but this isn't me talking here. All right, this is the NFL. The NFL is about what are you doing for me right now. That's just the bottom line, and the NFL doesn't go on potential. They don't. The NFL goes by what are you doing? Not what can you do, is what are you doing? We all know what D'Andre Swft can do. We've seen it. And when we see it, it's beautiful. But then we see when he's running super timid. And we lost Deuce Staley. Is that going to help or hinder him and his progress? So for me, I'm done with Jeff Okudah, and I'm on the cusp of being done with D'Andre Swft. But it doesn't matter for me because D'Andre Swft is on his last year of his rookie deal. So he's going to be on this team this year, most likely, okay? If he's not traded, obviously, by the deadline. But my thought is he's either going to ball out and potentially get re-signed, or we're going to let him go. And he won't be our problem in a year's time. So let me know what you think. Would you take offers from any of those teams for D'Andre Swft?